Alaska, Grim After Dark, starring John and Danny.
Tell me it'd be way better, but it is amazing. Guys, the curtain's up. Wonderful. Thanks for the count-in. Guys, Games Workshop is failing. A new ranking system's come that's exploded onto the scene and also exploded the community. And you all continue to disappoint us day in and day out. Guys, my name is John. It's going to be pretty grim after dark. My co-host today, he needs some aggravation. He's ready to ramble. It's Danny MacDevitt.
Okay, cool. Yep. So we're taking a trip down the old TV line, I guess. I don't know if that's what it's called. John, that was a grim start, my friend.
It is. It's been. I think I was talking to Seth from Signals of the Front Line earlier about how the state of my mental health has slowly degraded as I continue to skim the corpse bottom of the 40K community for amazing content for this show.
It's true.
But yeah, I'm disappointed in a lot of you. Some of you I'm not, though. Ricio Santo, we talking Conquest? No. One, that card game is not made anymore. Two, it wasn't even that good when it first came out. And then three, I don't have a third. Danny, hey. Sorry, you said something?
Solid.
Perfect.
No, you had it.
Got it. As always, perfect. Guys, Danny, we Grim After Dark here. This is our side chick, if you will. But our main love is Mob Rules, where last week, even though we failed to actually record it ever, we did get this feedback on one of our videos, which was from our talking about the worst characters in 40K, Shazoka, from 2.5 years ago. So very topical to the current time. Thanks, YouTube algorithm. But tell us about that take. What is this referring to?
Yeah, so if you ever want to see Val, just go ahead and you see, guys, even when he's not on the screen, he's wearing those glasses to try and distract us. It works. It works. Anyway, so check out the worst character in 40K series that John and I have done for Mob Rules at some point, if you'd like, to kill some time and some brain cells, and we can talk about the worst characters ever to appear in 40K.
Yeah, and also let us know 3 years after the fact of making the video that we didn't have a good take on one character in your opinion.
Right.
We truly, I love the confusion that comes from that. Danny,
it was really great to wake up at 6 a.m. and see somebody just, as posted on there, and for me to give them some positive feedback. Thanks for the feedback. 2.5 years later. I mean, I didn't say that part, but he should know that maybe.
He should know. You should know, guys. We don't even, like a week later, we forget about things, let alone that. Danny, I mean, he's already introduced himself as he is will to do.
I'm coming.
I'm
coming on in. Hey, everybody, what's going on?
What the heck? Why is his TV so fast?
Yeah,
because he doesn't like the awkward pauses that happen when we wait for the TV to go down and there's no music.
Right. I could have used some of the time before the show to arrange for some music. Instead, I read what I thought was the majority of the Games Workshop annual report. Turned out it's 91 pages this year. Black Library published the annual report this year. It's fantastic.
The first 84 pages, nothing happens, but the last 7 pages is like a lot of great detail.
Yeah.
This sounds like maybe Black Library's worst novella, to be honest with you. I'm not going to lie.
There's just a lot of penetrating eye contact. There's a lot of male gaze going on. It's G-A-Z-E.
It's no nemesis.
Also, sorry, I'm just going to hijack the show some more. Just a little bit.
Perfect.
Just a little bit here, John.
We have so much planned, so it's
You incorrectly identified in the chat a reference to Conquest, a collectible card trading game. Incorrect. I'm sure that our loyal chatter was referring to Parabellum's Conquest, a square-based fantasy-themed tabletop game.
It's almost like a lot of people have been talking about that on Discord for a while now, and I'm irritated because I don't understand it. So I just pretend that I don't understand what it is and refer to the early 2000s greatest card game, Conquest, which I have a winner's map from, even though I never played.
I believe you're talking about Conquest: Last Argument of Kings, Val.
It's a pickup artist book. It's fantastic.
Yeah. So you can get that from Knights of the Game Table. So moving on there.
I don't know how to shoot a basketball.
Boom. Oh, terrible. Yeah. I'm awful at that kind of stuff. That's
Is that what a dunk looks like?
It's like a little Vince Carter hanging from your elbow. That was cool in the early 2000s.
It's a Canadian dunk.
Vince Carter's from North Carolina, I'm pretty sure.
By the way, side note, Val, thank you. If you don't follow Val on Facebook, absolutely you should, because he was kind enough to share his annual reminder that he went to Warhammer World and had a lovely photo taken in front of the Rhino.
You know what? Let's see if I can pull it up real quick. I think this is actually excellent.
Great. It is
move
quality.
Along. We can add it to the slideshow.
Hey, guys. You wanted to tune into a video cast, and instead you're going to get Val's slideshow from his last vacation that he took. How excited are you?
I've had a vacation since this horrible nightmare of a road trip that this was taken.
Sorry, my bad.
You've seen this picture before, right, Danny?
Yeah, I have.
Okay, good.
I think it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Enough to make me think that you had it actually planned.
No.
There it is.
It's cool. Unlike you have a friend in this picture.
I don't understand what everyone has. I don't understand what everyone thinks is so funny about my shirt.
Why don't you enhance this banner?
Enhance.
Nope.
Sorry, I grabbed the wrong
what
window.
We're seeing, by the way, on the screen right now is Rob standing for the Warhammer. Oh, sorry. Rob standing for the Warhammer World Rhino with Val. In his wonderful Canada t-shirt.
That says anal.
It does. His jacket is unfortunately opened in such a way that he's professing his love of anal shirts.
That's cool though, dude. No judgment.
You know what? Actually, the more nightmarish thing is the fact that at this very moment, my passport is in that shoe.
Right in that shoe.
It's in that shoe.
You didn't feel it?
I wore orthotics at the time. Okay. I didn't. Yeah, so it was on top of the passport. I forgot what shoes I wore and which shoes I hit my passport in. There's a switch when I was tired. But going on Fortune Narrative, another podcast.
Now you can actually buy wallets for your passport, so you don't have to take along a pair of shoes to store them in.
That's unsporting.
That's fair. That's fair. Chatting us, it says anal, but really says Canada. Coincidence? I think not. Speaking of horrific things that's going to stay around for a while, guys, stream content is everywhere. And remember, if you're at an event, you might be on camera, as a lot of games are. This gentleman apparently didn't check the events FAQ and made a tactical move that was unfortunately not allowed by the rules pack and was caught making this beautiful face.
Solid.
It's great podcast content.
Yeah.
He looks upset, everybody who's listening.
Yeah, well, they're upset anyway.
It's a picture of a very upset man.
Yeah. It reminds me of of a meme, and so I made it that. But yeah, it's great. But unfortunately, the rules packet didn't allow him to have that extra 2-inch ruin charge out of Deep Strike, which was a ruling that was made before LSO, so definitely check your rules packet. Guys, what are some other things people need to do before an event to properly prepare?
Hydrate before an event. I think you're going to want to do that.
I think I'm going to go meta on this question. I think what a podcaster should do before going on a Warhammer 40,000 themed podcast is prepare an answer to what you should do to prepare to go to an event.
Okay.
That's Jesus.
This might be the most asked question on any podcast.
That is.
It might be. Other than what are you working on this week?
Not on this show.
We have an editorial directive to not talk about games played or what we're working on.
Mm-mm. Mm-mm.
Okay, well then let's move on. Seeing as we don't like being asked the most common questions known to man.
John,
What
this isn't a common podcast.
This is not. This is a rare because no one ever sees
Rarefied.
it. What is your guys' one pet peeve about opponents at events? Like, what's one thing an opponent can do that just really annoys you? And Danny, you're not allowed to say rolling individual dice.
Fuck.
I would say inaccurate wheels.
Oh,
Lazy wheeling. That really grinds my gears.
it's fair.
It's fair. Yeah.
I've got nothing,
for
John.
those of
Nothing my
you-
opponents ever do piss me off except for that one thing that you just talked about.
For Danny, I'm going to say show up to the table would probably be the number one thing Danny finds annoying about his opponents.
I've had that. Just pure cowardice. Didn't show up to the table. And I just got a free win, and I got to kick my feet up for a couple hours. It was pretty great. I'm down with it.
It's a dream event.
Dream event.
Yeah, why?
3-0.
Yeah, I
Don't
travel
play
all this
single
way
game.
to play 5 games of Warhammer or 6 games of Warhammer.
Cutting out, buddy.
Display my army to my opponent. My feedback to that would be maybe just talk a little faster. They'll be fine. They'll get it. There's no need to enunciate every single, syllable in there. Guys, we're like 5 minutes in now. We've already made like 3 fantasy references. I'm gonna ask you to keep
haven't
it
done
to a
that.
respectable 4 or 5.
We were talking about the last Rite of Kings, I think, which is its own thing. Entirely.
Okay. So did we talk about Purple Sun before the show?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
it's setting the Age of Sigmar meta on fire.
Yeah, just as you would expect.
As one
Literally.
would expect from Purple Sun.
Like,
Well, you'd expect to suck people into it and then to just die. But
like Age of Sigmar would be like the dumpster, and the Purple Sun is the fire. I believe I wore my purple shirt out of respect for this.
People have been
but,
calling that blue, I think, due to my color correction.
Yeah.
due to color correction, it's actually ultramarine blue, which
Mhm.
I think is the subtlest joke Val's ever played on this wonderful show. Let's see here. What is one thing all events should require that they don't require right now?
Oh,
showers.
low hanging fruit there.
Dude, look, I'll grab it if it's right there. I don't care. I'm 6'4". Like, I'll grab the lowest fruit you can see if it's easy to get.
With your back?
Yeah, in this economy, I don't think so.
I just want to see the poor judges. Can you imagine the Alveo judge lane smelling armpits as people come in to double check that showers have been had?
They're doing like a hair swab to see if someone's washed their hair in the morning. Like, it's perfect.
In fairness, guys, even with a shower, if you're held up in a line for like 5 minutes, you're gonna smell a bit by the time you get to the front of it there. That's a lot of time standing.
What are you doing in this lane that makes you sweat?
Yeah,
are you
man.
doing like jumping jacks? Are you like running in circles just waiting?
Just basic cardiovascular activity,
Look,
Gotta keep
Get a
your
little
arms
mouth
up
breathe
to the wind.
going on.
I'm not a healthy man. In fact, my moniker is the moist, is what people call me. That's what they say. I sweat a lot. And I don't sweat in line. I have no idea what you're talking about, man. What?
I was attempting to say that we're in terrible shape as a community and that we'd still be sweating by the end.
I mean, that's true. So is the worst thing that people can do before coming to a tournament is to not have exercise?
Here we go. We have Triceratops in chat letting us know Nova gave out deodorant in their bags. And if I could just throw this out
that
here,
was nice.
maybe we could use our FLG connections to possibly have Grim After Dark branded deodorant.
That's great.
And some Alveo high roller bags.
That is such an incredible idea.
I think that's.
Let me put
great.
it on the list of great ideas I'll never follow up on.
If you go to
It's
the
gonna go
John
on the
file,
whiteboard.
it's like, yeah.
Yeah, let's go right on the whiteboard, pal. Don't worry.
It's a
Going in a
whiteboard
little
is
thing
where
I like to
creativity
call the
goes to
parking
die.
lot.
Of course, Joel Atkins reminding us of the GW scented candles or thing. I forgot those were even a thing.
Games Workshop right on the cusp of an actually like useful product, like GW branded deodorant, and instead went with the candle. Although odds are that I think some people in a pinch have probably at this point just rubbed that candle on their armpit in the hopes that it might make it work.
I guarantee they have.
You know,
It's happened.
it definitely makes the tournament smell nicer, but conversely, it makes it a lot more of a fire hazard.
One of them wasn't one of them a Nurgle scented candle though?
Just to be clear here, I'm
Look.
saying you don't light the candle and then rub it in your armpit. I'm saying like you just take the waxy candle and rub it in your
Well,
armpit.
hold on a
just-
minute.
I think
Don't
just
tell
the
me what to
friction,
do.
just the friction there is probably gonna rub off a bit.
The friction,
We're
the
still talking about
moisture,
candles,
the heat,
right?
the lit candle. Be great.
Well, as long as and this
Ugh.
is my next terrible joke for the day that I just came with
Going to you,
here.
Cam.
Oh, great.
They're going to release Warhammer branded wet wipes called Astartes. Anyway, guys, moving on. That's even better. Hold that face. There was a quiet there, so whoever's editing that can just loop that disappointed headbutt over and over again, or head nod over and over again.
It's good.
Guys,
Oh, perfect.
there was a point update last week, and we dropped by the Art of War's Facebook page for details on all of the changes. And they let us know that they have to assume there's some changes in here somewhere. This was a contentious update. We didn't expect a points update to come. This points update dropped out of nowhere, and people were left to peer over a 56-page document with no perceived changes. Danny,
no
I guess
magenta. There was no
here,
magenta helping people out on this one.
no magenta on this
No.
whatsoever.
Why would they not do that?
Danny, what did change?
So changes are the big change, and I think really the only one I can think of is that they added the points values for custom jobs back, because previously they had removed them, so people assumed they costed no points. So,
What a wild assumption.
yeah.
Now that the points are included digitally, one would hope that they would just have all of the points now, and then I think AOS does this. Don't they note when there's a point change on the actual document itself? Pretty sure they do it. Whereas in 40K, they're just like, yeah, just figure it out, guys.
I was going to say,
Yeah.
should changes be highlighted, though? Is it important for you to learn about what other armies you might not play are doing points-wise or changing?
What kind of a question is that?
Yeah, of course.
That's the question. Like, personally,
Sorry. Do you work at the design studio?
I feel personally that they don't have to highlight them because it doesn't matter.
Do I need to get on the whiteboard back there? Do we need blue sky?
Oh
this
my
shit?
we want to
God.
Benefits
we
of
don't want it
highlighting
ignored, Val. We've
changes?
been over this.
Oh man, are you on the design studio? That is a fantastic joke. Jesus.
Up to
It's
284
nuanced.
members. Added 21 head count to it this year, guys. Annual report 2021 coming in hot. And I have lots of those
Do you
little
have a
tidbits
bad
for you guys at
opinion?
home. Pardon?
Are you on the design studio?
I like the fact that you just dropped the tidbit. There's 284 members of the design studio, and no one owns a highlighter.
Or just
No
like
one approved the expense.
like a non-freeware version of Microsoft Word would probably do the trick.
They use Google Docs. It's fine. It
I
all
know.
works.
They do. In
That's
fact,
why they
use
haven't
Google
gone
Docs.
digital. But Danny, I guess that explained to me in my simple member of design studio terms, why is it important to actually denote changes in like this massive document? If it's an army you don't play, or even if it is an army you play.
Why? Well, first of all, why would you not help people find the differences in the document instead of hunting over it for hours to try and find a minuscule change?
Right? Why
Would you do that, you sadistic bastard?
Because I see GW as an all or nothing company. So this time what they would do is highlight like the one change that's happening, one tiny change in 55-page document. And like come next year, it'll just be 55 purple pages. Like, fuck you, find it yourself. All of it's changed.
Can we change it from being called a points update then, or a balance update, to like a
Where's
word
Waldo?
hunt or number hunt?
Yeah.
I think it's just a missed opportunity, man. Because one of my favorite things is I really have to fix the co-host Zoom thing, man. It's driving me nuts. One of my favorite things to look at is like when people do those heat maps. It's a nice little Excel document that like just highlights like the percentage change in all of the numbers and stuff. It's great to look at. You can see you can visually see how the meta may or may not be shifting. Who got big breaks or whatever. There's like a lot of like potential story and content there for your, whoever's the million monkeys typing on a million typewriters to like work off of.
428 monkeys.
400.
Literally, right.
I'm not calling them that. They're all hardworking people, I'm sure.
You know,
but nonetheless, it is a great opportunity to like issue to the people out here in the Warhammer verse something cool to look at. And you can immediately see, like, we get great reward from being able to just immediately see in front of you what the changes are. I think that makes for a more engaging document rather than having to be incredibly in the know about everything, or just wait for Goonhammer to figure it out.
From a sales perspective, it's smart, because you want people to be able to see what armies have changed, what armies are better. And so you'll sell more models if they see that a different army has become better. Maybe they've always wanted to collect that army and they just don't. This could be the impetus for that.
Borglaughlan let us know in chat, it's GW's new standalone game, Warcry, Necromunda, Blackstone Fortress, FAQ word search.
FAQ word search.
Perfect.
Which, by the way, just the entry price point for that game, really cheap.
Yeah, it's pretty affordable.
Warhammer Munitorum.
Please don't sell us that now. We like it being free. Guys, I actually spent time writing my best Spikey Bits inspired headline for this next picture here. Is Warhammer TV finished? Presenter leaves the struggling service, which would be like the Spikey Bits level headline. But actually, Lore Master Wade Price is moving on to pastures new, or pastures adjacent, as he leaves the Warhammer TV crew to become the lead writer for Warhammer 40K.
Awesome.
Guys, did you check out any of his Lore Masters episodes at all?
Yes, I did.
Absolutely.
They were really good. Of course. Well, why not, Val? Tell us about it.
Is that on the Warhammer Plus, which I am subscribed to on an annual subscription and have logged into twice? Stupid me.
You're like,
no, I loved Wade from their first forays into the podcast land. He used to do a little heads up podcast with various members of the design studio and folks who worked at Games Workshop, and he was a really cool interview, and he clearly really loved the game. So I'm really happy for him. I hope he's, as 40K's lead writer, he does some wild stuff that gets everyone really mad. I'm fingers crossed here.
I was going to say, how long until the internet turns on him and blames everything wrong with 40K on him?
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to be the next Matt Ward, right? Because that's exactly what happened.
Well, there will
it's
never
a dream
be
come true. I know that's what I've always wanted to be, is Matt Ward.
There will never be another, because they don't put their names on it anymore. So
my children's children will be able to recount the time that Wade Price ruined Chaos Demons forever, and kind of it just continues to move on. Circle of life.
Have you ever heard the tale of Wade Price? It's perfect.
He's going to have his own Wikipedia article. It's going to be great. No, he's going to do great. Very, very knowledgeable guy. If you guys haven't seen Lore Masters and Warhammer Plus, definitely check it out. He is very knowledgeable. I don't believe they have the budget for a ton of researchers for that show, so I think he does a lot of the work on that. Would be interested to see moving forward how that does.
It's like our show.
Yeah.
Same thing,
sure.
really.
Yeah. Can you believe someone actually puts effort into this? Because Val can't. Anyway. Seeing as everything's going to shit anyway, terrible conversions continue to be a thing. with this amazing slide of an Eldari army choosing to forego pants and tops only
Oh
to
my
wear
God.
gloves, helmets, and boots.
Like,
Thankfully,
really?
it's zoomed out enough and pixelated enough that you
Yep.
can't see anything.
Hey,
But guys, I
Val,
have some
Wow.
questions.
enhance.
I can't. It's already all pixelated.
Yeah,
Maybe
the
not,
close-up is tits.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that army's. Yeah, you ruined it already. I took my glasses off. I was trying to see the boobies. Yeah,
Now
actually,
everyone
this
has
didn't
an
even
answer
read to me as outlandish. I didn't realize that it was another fine example of inappropriate gamers putting titties on everything.
Let's also answer the question of what does it take to remove the Heffelfingers? Titties. Thanks for the zoom.
As Scarface once said in the motion picture classic, Half Baked, "Yo, B, your titty." Chad,
True.
you got my back there, I'm pretty sure.
True.
Yeah, they're also at your back and letting you know I do a terrible job of preparing this podcast for audio content. But why, guys, do people continue to make these ridiculous armies?
I mean,
I'm gonna guess dial-up internet. I'm gonna guess that these people only have dial-up internet, and this is how they can get representations in a buxom way that they enjoy, without having to splurge for some DSL or maybe some satellite or whatever Elon Musk's got, that Starlink.
Yeah.
Why not just
I
make
was
yourself a
just
naked
thinking,
Eldar army? It's cheaper.
I was just thinking, like, I don't know, like emotionally abusive parents, or I mean, there's a lot of yeah. Yeah. Anyway, loneliness, I think, probably plays a big factor here. Maybe some mild clinical depression. I'm not sure, but like, this person put a lot of time in that army.
They're very well paid. It's awful taste, but great execution. Danny, what is the tactical advantage of not wearing clothes?
You're like, you're more aerodynamic when you fight with no clothes on, as long as you're shaved down. That's true. I've heard that before.
As a man with a lot of skin, I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna need some compression shorts. Otherwise, I'm just gonna trip over my own legs.
Yeah. Could you imagine, though, the embarrassment of showing up forgetting half your armor, but then you're saved by the fact that your entire rest of your craft world showed up naked too, in what must be like
Well,
the most convenient plot device?
they're not naked, John. They're just topless. Like, they all have pants and arm armor and shoulder
It's
pads.
a really bad photo. Like, could you at least like DM me like something a little more
can.
salacious here?
Yeah, absolutely. I will. And go boy, get on that LVO art. Moving on.
This is a good SoCal Open art. I think that would be good.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
Things there. Just the SoCal art is just Val ripping off the Heffelfingers and just tongue out at the screen. As a palette cleanser, though, here is quite possibly, and I've been down on 3D printing, so this is something, but the greatest STL ever created. It's a hot tub. It's a Space Marine hot tub. Now, go boy, get that LVO art going. What other scenarios should we put Space Marines in?
Oh man, there's so many.
So we have hot tub bros.
Yeah, keg stand. I got to see
good.
that.
Yeah,
I'd like to see Space Marine with shopping cart. Maybe like going through the grocery store, getting some Soylent Green or whatever they eat.
I was thinking just like browsing the magazine rack.
Yeah, perfect.
Space Marines strike me. They strike me as guys who would still read magazines.
Yeah, sure. Or riding on
White
the
Dwarf.
elephant, which is just public transportation in the Space Marine city, like a bunch of guys on the bus, like just kind of sitting there. Maybe one of them's reading a newspaper.
I don't know why the idea of an elite fighting force of genetically modified, highly trained warriors, bred only for destruction, riding the red line to get to work is just hilarious.
Sir, it's a
Like-
Mark IV elephant. Please use the correct name for that vehicle.
They have to put their bolters on the front like the bike racks for the
Yeah,
buses.
no, well, no,
because
that's where
there's
the
not
that's
space
where
for
the
them.
combat motorcycles go.
Please.
I think that in this dystopian future, they're just riding a regular ass subway. So they're like 9 feet tall.
Yeah.
They have to duck a little bit. They're in their armor. People keep jostling them. He's always wearing his backpack. Can't take it off. People are like,
Right.
dude, like it'd be
They're mad.
awkward for a space marine on any form of public transportation, I would say.
Oh man, even better.
Do you think a space
Val,
marine would get a hot dog?
I enjoy them like just trying to like figure out how they like awkwardly try to get it through their helmet, like without taking it off.
Well,
only sergeants
if
can
they
can
did-
eat a hot dog.
like, okay, but if they did eat a hot dog, would he gain all the memories of the different animals that made up that hot dog? So he like have like
He just
chicken
instantly
memories and a
passes
pig
out
memory.
because he's got like 55 lifetimes that just get uploaded to
Yeah,
his
dude.
brain. Just
Yeah, like
overloads.
52-year lifetimes of different animals, right? Like,
you have to be really careful about what you eat as a space marine.
Yeah.
'Cause
dude, not more than one of any kind of animal. Like turducken is straight off the menu for space marines. There's no
it's
way.
very traumatic for them.
Yeah, it's too fast. The food is too fast. So
Maybe they're all like RoboCop. They just got to eat a bunch of Gerber's baby food.
no, that's
You want
possible.
paste? You know how much memory's in a paste? A lot.
I was like apple.
Yeah, do you know how many root vegetables made that up? Do you know what a potato's memory is like? It's
Whoa,
crazy.
whoa, whoa.
dude.
They
They don't
could
ever
never.
forget.
They could never eat any chicken nuggets.
No.
Val, if you check in chat, someone shared another fantastic STL of a Tau tank commander.
Oh, really? I
which-
bet you this is very tasteful. Why don't I just innocently open this link?
you're absolutely kind of getting great great
What's
audio
wrong with
content.
this?
Oh, it's great. Is what I'm
Oh,
saying.
no,
It's
it's a
fantastic.
DJ booth. It's sick.
Yeah, it's a DJ booth for
Yeah.
on top of a Tau tank. Danny, I'm going to need you to buy 4 of these for your stupid army.
This is earth-cased
yes.
instruments, DJ tank, commander conversion parts. I say this is 5 out of 5 stars. Find it on
The
Shapeways,
best thing
guys.
about it is you can just DJ Khaled the whole thing. So every time you shoot,
DJ
like,
Khaled.
another
Yeah.
one,
Hell
another
yeah.
one,
Mhm,
all the
mhm.
way. Hey, Danny, in game terms, back to the hot tub. What keywords does a hot tub have?
Oh, well, first of all, the most
Come on.
important one, sandwich.
I think obviously it gets hot.
Fair.
Well, this isn't a hot pocket, Val, or a Totino's pizza roll. It's not molten lead on the inside.
Hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, gets hot is pretty good though. I like that.
It's hot.
Do you think it would have
think the import-
infantry or beasts?
Beast. That's not cool, sir. Does not have beast. I will say the important thing to remember is it absolutely does not have the Primaris keyword, so those guys can't go in there.
Oh,
Firstborns only.
Firstborns only. It's very the hot
Yeah.
tub world on a
Primaris
craft
hot
or on
tubs
a-
like floating in the air.
yeah,
Does not
yeah.
have the
It's
fly
so
keyword.
cool though, and like they won't let any of the first generation Marines in there at all.
Nope.
In fact, the
cat-
first generation Marines all have to ride the bus now because all the rhinos are like defunct and like they can't get on an impulsor. So for
It's-
some reason, like
it's
Space
the
Marines
tank
have no
pattern
vertical
hot tub.
clearance.
Beautiful.
Yeah,
Guys,
seats
the-
taken.
the garbage continues as we find a relic of the past appear. I thought since the introduction of Primaris, we were past the true scale phase, but no. Behold, true scale Primaris. Someone is making
What?
true
Wow.
scale Primaris.
No.
Wow. That is so for the podcast listeners, to make a true scale Primaris, I'm just generously estimating here that this person has added spacers that might equate to a millimeter?
Right.
Right?
Looks like under
Like
the
2
boot, maybe?
millimeters?
No, not under the boot.
Yeah, they
So-
looks like it might have platforms, but like between the knee pad and the
Yeah.
ankle.
It's not more than 2 millimeters. Like it's 1 or 2 millimeters. It's very thin.
Wow. Wow. A lot of right angles in that person's house, I am sure.
Guys, why do people insist on trying to make things like an accurate scale in their sci-fi futuristic space battle game?
Oh,
Well, I don't get ragging on True Scale. I thought True Scale Marines were cool in a pre-Primaris world because, I mean, if you've ever seen like the second edition like bolter on chest Space Marine,
yeah.
but in statue
Mhm.
form, he is a horrible mutant. Like the like proportions of that thing is
Are they
just
bad?
terrifying. So like I kind of get like the impetus to be like, why don't we make these guys not so derpy? And even as those like molds, like so that sculpt progressed into third edition, and those guys looked less derpy, they're still really out of whack. Like the fact
Yeah.
that like a Primaris Marine's head is the same size as a Firstborn head, that's kind of funny.
Look at the Terminator. Like they're pretty weird too. I hear what you're saying, but like it's just that the True Scale normal Marine stuff was like, it was like the easiest conversion to screw up ever. Like you could make them look really dumb, like with really
Like thigh
big
gap.
boots or something.
You want
Like
that
that
thigh
was
gap.
pretty. Yeah, there you go. So I don't know. It never seemed to quite turn out good. There was a couple of good executions on the internet. But once Primaris came out, like, what's the point?
Yeah, I agree. I was quite
Why-
disappointed when Horus Heresy stayed basically the same scale. I mean, they did
they're way
ratchet it up
bigger,
a little bit.
Yeah.
They did.
They didn't go True Scale. I would have loved to see that. That would have been
They
great.
Well, no,
did
the
enough so
normals-
that if you only had an old army, you would have to buy new ones to make them all fit in.
No, John, the cynical take. The only if you're from Texas. But they did scale up the normal Marines quite a bit, but normal Marines are supposed to be smaller than the Primaris Marines. Like that's in the background.
I'm just gonna go out there and say this: that Primaris Marines are supposed to be Space Marines, but at some point they all went, "There's no way in hell we can actually just change the scale. We have to invent some really dumb reason for these guys to be bigger." Primaris was born.
Fair.
That was
wanna
probably in
say-
the meeting just before deciding not to ever highlight changes in the points book.
I want to say in the meeting, someone was like, just make a new Space Marine called Primaris. And like, okay. And like, oh, wait, no, that was a joke answer. I'm like, nope, we're doing it now. It's fantastic.
This is what you've done.
I do wonder when I look forward to the day when they finally just do it.
Kill him.
Me too.
Just go. They just throw them all in the river. Been,
Death to
I'm
true
totally fine
scale.
with it.
Death to Firstborn Marines. There's no need for you anymore, especially with the upcoming ones.
If you want to
Why?
play those Marines, play Heresy.
Why does everyone true scales Marines? Why does no one true scale the vehicles?
actually, I will well actually you this.
yeah.
Something like the
You gotta push
Valkyrie.
your glasses up.
Valkyrie, which is an old Forge World display model that was then turned to plastic, is, I think, pretty much true scale. And that's why the Valkyrie looks so friggin' enormous. All the Forge World flyers look way too big because of the fact that I think they were actually scaled properly to goofy guardsman size.
Yeah, but they
So
can't
there.
fit Primaris.
Yep. I agree with all that. I think they don't do it, John, specifically because you can, like, as long as you're not changing the size of the base, like, you can still play with models. So a lot of these people still want to play with their models and bring them under the table. That's the reason they paint them. So, but if you true scale a vehicle, it becomes significantly bigger, and so that potentially is a modeling for advantage kind of situation.
You just
so
make it
people might
double
complain
decker
about
Rhino,
that.
so it properly fits 10. Just one on top of the other there. Here's another bad question for you. It's
Please.
my thing.
Oh, great.
If everything was true scale, would people make things heroic scale?
God damn it.
Well, 3D printing has taught me that heroic scale is quite literally a 32 millimeter scale head on a 28 millimeter scale body. I've discovered this because like when you download like third party prints and you print them, and then you're like, oh shit, his body's too big. I'm gonna scale him down, and then his head's too small, and then you scale him up, and just because the GW mismatch is hilarious, especially in orcs. So in fact, I have done a heroic scale conversion for the crew for my spear checkers for a game that's not Warhammer Fantasy Battles.
It's Warhammer Army Projects. So what I learned from 3D printing, Val, is you can put tits on anything.
Anything.
So,
and you're gonna want 32 millimeter tits. That's for sure.
Yeah, like I'm telling you right now,
you want
you're
heroic
gonna want
scale
it,
boobs.
like
Definitely not true scale boobs.
that is, yeah, you want it to be heroic scale.
Val, you might even get another fantasy reference in here. This
bet I will.
question that I found on Reddit is obviously very specific and often answered jokingly and probably seriously with Warhammer
what?
40,000. But as this next slide shows us here, you are held at gunpoint and your kidnappers will not kill you if you can speak about a topic for 30 minutes straight. Guys, what specifically about Warhammer are you talking about for 30 minutes?
I'm gonna say just the tactile pleasure of having to measure ranges in 3 dimensions.
For 30 minutes?
I think I'd talk about it. Whippy
Oh,
sticks, gauges of tape measure. Let's go for it, baby.
I'd be
That is
putting my
actually
arm
one of-
around the. Oh, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say when I was reflecting recently, I think that for whatever reason really stuck out in my brain as something that like initially pulled me into Warhammer was the fact that like a guy's bolter went 12 or 24 inches or whatever. It wasn't like because I'd only ever seen board games before that, so I thought it was so cool that like they weren't restricted, that it was actually this far. It was how far that weapon worked. Really, my child brain just blew up. Right?
That's pretty cool.
Is it?
Yeah.
You guys, you
I think
can
that's a
hear
good reason
more.
to get into it.
You can hear more
What?
of this fantastic content on the podcast I'll produce, which is Val and Danny's Wheelin' Time, a Warhammer fantasy podcast.
10 from the back. 10 from the back.
That's right, 10 from the back.
So
That
it's
was
my
the
fantasy
thing.
podcast in development, also known as every podcast I go on, no matter
God,
what.
I have to say, 10 from the back is just, it's a good title. It's a good joke. Like, just super solid there, man.
I can name things.
Yeah.
That's my one thing I can
know,
do.
dude.
It's one
Yeah.
thing
It's
I
on-
can do.
10 from the back's on the whiteboard behind him, so it will never be made.
Nope.
Nope, that's staying up here.
Okay, what is something to do with Warhammer you guys would refuse to talk about for 30 minutes?
Oh,
Gender of Space Marines.
Danny,
man,
do you want to
that's
quickly
such
add
a good
something in
one.
so I don't have to respond to that, like, at all?
Oh, geez. I mean, it's so good, though, right? Like, that is just excellent. Nice work, Val.
Yeah.
I would say I would not want to talk about I wouldn't want to talk about sportsmanship with somebody for a half an hour.
That's great. That's a good one. Soft scores. There you go. The merits of soft scores for 30 minutes with someone who really believes in them.
I feel I wouldn't want to talk about whether a commission painted army should get painting awards.
It
for
should.
30 minutes.
100%.
I mean, yeah, right? It should not.
What?
Stop it.
I've collected a number of Best Painted awards on the back of Adam Truax at Battle Brothers Painting. Thanks, Adam. Probably a good $150 worth of gift cards, thanks to him.
And all it cost was several $1,000s in commission.
He's putting his kids through college.
It's not a good one, but they're going. This flux in chat. I see Val. Does that mean John forget to book someone? Yes. Moving forward.
The truth is, I'm my favorite guest. That's the problem.
Yes.
You should hear him. Like, when we get on the channel, he's actually just been a guest for like several hours beforehand because he likes it so much.
We were going to make
trapped
a
in this
joke.
TV talking to myself. Wax and poetic.
We missed a week a couple weeks back ago because the internet just pooped the bed worse than normal.
Mm-hmm.
And the joke I was going to do was we were just going to pretend that we were behind a weight screen for like a week. and
Like the
just
whole
start off
time.
as normal and pretend it's the same day. If I never got to it. Anyway,
It's on the whiteboard, baby.
It's on the
Post it
whiteboard.
up.
It is now. Yeah.
The nightmarish future of the Adeptus Mechanicus is here.
Oh, shit. It's
As
here.
scientists, which in full disclosure, StatCheck's Nathan Hennig is a scientist, used a process called necrobiotics to turn a dead spider into a servitor. Guys, after this horrific act, what are the next 40k technologies to come to real life to disturb us?
Has Erkin Land been born? Is this suggesting that he might exist among us now?
That's the land spider, is what that is technically called.
John, it's clearly spirit stones.
It's the Octoland.
Could you imagine how depressing that would be if you die? Because you know, with the way society is right now, your soul would be entombed in a fast food like register.
Yeah, you would get to operate that machine for eternity, John.
I'm going with we've already seen it and referenced it today. Incense. Warhammer themed incense already out there.
Oh, incense.
That's true.
Got it.
Incense. Scented candle,
Yeah.
if you will.
What, guys, single piece of 40k technology would you in no way want to exist in real life?
I'm going Golden Throne with this one.
Yeah, I was just thinking that exact same thing. Like, to be honest.
I mean, as far as fuel goes, seems a bit unsustainable.
Dude, it's a Holocaust engine.
Right? I mean, no one's really spelled it out quite that blatantly as you just did, but yeah. That's awful.
I mean,
it's even worse than when I thought of it.
Awful.
That is the worst description I've ever heard of it. But also the
that's
most
what it
accurate.
is.
Yeah, no, you're right. You're right.
Yeah,
you're
you
right.
could be
But that's
accurate
not,
and the
still
worst
not cool.
description of something.
Yeah, I know.
It's
It sucks, dude. It's a shitty thing to have.
Seems like Golden Throne, pretty popular choice. Yeah, it is one of the shittiest things ever thought of because it is a Holocaust engine.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Which, you know, now we have what we should have titled this episode.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man.
Oh,
Spicy.
it's on the whiteboard.
We would be branching out into
will
demographics
Danny
we
say
don't
next?
normally access.
It's okay. They're all trying to cancel on us Wargamer right now.
Yeah, they're all on
last
Rob's
week,
Twitter
anyway,
feed.
we shared a meme that Val and Danny believed was ironic, but was actually shared in absolute seriousness. It was of Darth Vader standing off against literal aliens to protect the integrity of 40k. This week, we have this one, which I believe was shared, which is the Emperor saying, "Only man will receive my seed." Guys, is this a serious or ironic defense of only male space marines?
A defense of only male space marines?
Yeah, because only men will
No, I
receive
don't
his
think
seed.
that's what this is. I think this is supposed to be ironic. Clearly, right?
It's more of a golden shower than a golden throne. Also gross.
Less lethal.
Less lethal.
Well, Marines have acid blood.
It's probably acidic.
Do they have acid pee?
I don't
stealing
believe
my
so.
memories with his pee.
Yeah, maybe it's a sleep piss.
This feels like ironic. I'm going ironic.
Yeah, you have to, right? Like, it's too absurd to really consider that a grown man would write this, right? Like, or create this. Maybe they're not. I guess it could be.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well,
They did add tiny discs to above and below the kneecap of a Primaris Reaver to make it moderately taller.
Mm-hmm. So
It's amazing
what's the
grown
reveal
men
here?
would do.
Is this in all seriousness? This
Yeah,
meme?
so is this serious, John?
Oh, I don't know.
That's great.
That's the joke.
Breaking news. This meme might be serious and might not. We don't know.
Yeah, let us know. Was it serious?
We did
was
it.
Not?
That
I
we got
won't
to
read
the bottom
any
of it, though.
comments.
That's what's important.
I won't
Nailed
read
it.
any comments made by people, including Joe Atkins, that refer to gutters in any way in response to that. But The Grim Dank subreddit is usually a place to freely share memes and Warhammer-related jokes. But this week it turned into a communist hellhole as they decreed that porn is not a meme.
I'm trying to
I mean, it
fix.
could be.
Guys, why is porn not a meme?
I mean, what? It could be a meme. I mean, that's a pretty all-encompassing statement.
Right?
It's a
Obviously, it could be a
Anything
meme.
could be a meme.
Memetics is a very dense and complex field, and the most I know about it is that I can say the word memetic. That's all I got. I couldn't tell you what memetics is. Hey, chat, help us out. Can porn be a meme?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, clearly. Clearly it can be a meme.
To meme
John,
on a well-known internet meme, anything can be a meme if you're brave enough.
it's true. Even
Like a
porn.
golden throne, right, Danny?
I can think of, yeah, like a golden throne.
Guys, what is the worst Warhammer meme you've ever seen?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
Did we see the
Last
only man
week.
will receive my seed that like literally was 2 seconds ago? That's pretty awful. Pretty much every meme you share on this show is the worst Warhammer meme I have ever seen. In escalating order. One after the other, the worst I have ever seen. Without
Yo,
stopping.
dog. It's the Alien versus Darth Vader for me.
That's gross.
That was a terrible and serious meme that was shared. Borglockland let us know, boy, the folks listening to this podcast are missing out. No, they're really not. Because, well, they're missing out on their free time, as they should not be listening.
No. Hey,
True.
Chad is keeping up with us right now. Doing great out there,
Yeah.
picking up the half-baked references. I appreciate it.
Val's still very proud of that reference he made 30 minutes ago that was picked up on.
I'm feeling it, Scarface.
Here we go. You know it. You love it. Guys,
Go on.
I read Spikey Bits, so you don't have to.
It's
And
very
this week there
appreciated.
were a couple of
Okay.
doozies with this first article really standing out.
I super screwed up like when I zoomed in on something earlier in the show, and now they're all messed up. But go ahead.
All good. The article
Jesus.
is Games Workshop launches a $1,500 painting class. Danny, Val, what would you expect from a $1,500 painting? I will say the headline is accurate. However, several key points are left out. But what would you expect for a $1,500 painting class?
Do I get a Warhound Titan?
No.
Oh.
$1,500 painting class comes with free
you do get a
Warhound
Warhound
Titan. That
Titan,
sounds like a deal.
You do. So that's the small nugget of information they left out, that it does cost $1,500 for this painting class, one of the Warhammer GW Open events. But you get a Warhound Titan that you paint at that class.
I mean, that's pretty fun.
That's pretty cool.
Pretty fun.
That seems like a good deal, right?
If you're a Titan guy, though,
that seems right. Yeah.
I feel like that's a subgenre of 40K player. The Titan
Yeah,
guy.
you kind of got to be right. And the Titan guys are the guys that really don't give a shit.
Are they going to a painting class? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe they're like, yeah, I don't want to push around my one model at this tournament. I think I'm going to go paint it instead.
What's ironic is this painting class is the day before the GW Open happens, so the field is suddenly going to inflate to super major proportions due to the 30 players fielding a single Warhound Titan. Thanks, Dulux. This is real.
Amazing.
This is actual articles that I located. And what people have actually reached out and let me know is a favorite section of this show, which is just me reading Spikey Bits.
Wow.
That people have reached out to say that there's a favorite part of the show. That gives me wings. That's great.
It makes me happy. McLaughlin on fire, letting us know next door to the painting class is a free class on finding changes in the Munitora manual. Sir, that class is not free. That class is $700, but you do get a free manual.
It is. You do get a magnifying glass.
Moving on.
Hold on. Before we move on.
Let's go.
Over under. Actually, not even over under. What is the over under on total attendees of the Warhound Titan painting class?
3.
3. I was gonna put it like 10. Maybe not. No, that
Yeah.
feels heavy.
I
Is
don't know.
Is
I
this
think
the
12.
grand finale in like friggin' Juarez, Mexico? That they're
I believe so.
All right. So then maybe I'd put it at over under 10 because that's the big one. Like the people are already spending a lot of money to be there.
Yeah, I think 12. That'd be my vote.
All right, so he's taking the over on 10.
GW corporate people who watch us to continually question why you send me and Danny stuff to review, please let us know the actual attendance so we can win this friendly bet. I think it's a really good deal, though, to be fair, because you get, I don't think they assemble it for you, Aesthetic Deluxe. So you get a lesson in assembly, working with resin, assembling, cleaning, painting. You get a lot of value out of that. Though I do really want the class.
Do they wash it for you?
I think you learn how to wash it. Though I want.
So wait, you have to do it all in one day, though? Like that's a lot to build it, too.
It's when they launch the official GW airbrush.
Oh wow.
Oh, okay.
Is that a spray can? Pretty sure it's a spray
can.
No, for all of you independent characters fans out there, rip. Who was it was like Caleb and Judy, or like Caleb and Casey? There's like a pair
airbrush
of
guys, right?
Airbrush enthusiasts. They travel around North America doing cool classes, and actually I've met them at a couple of events. Very nice people. And they actually were the people doing airbrush classes at the GW US Open events. And I was like, that seems cool. Because they definitely don't sell Games Workshop brushes.
No.
Another fun thing from the investor report, them bragging that people use Citadel paints to paint things other than Citadel miniatures. Because they're so good.
I don't know. That's pretty good brag, man. I think honestly, if people are using your product for not breaching out of your market, is pretty interesting.
Do you think Vallejo brags about that in their
Vallejo
report?
only sells paint. They don't sell it for a particular product.
They have basing materials.
Vallejo is sad to report that the majority of our paint usage is not for basing.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that's a big accomplishment for them. It's basically doubling the amount of industries that they could potentially be in, even if it's just one more thing. You know, like if you get into like the plastic modeling industry is pretty good sized, I think.
I would think the scale model, scale modeling is. You know, if I ever fall off the good trajectory of this hobby into another like adjacent hobby, I hope I just tumble past trains into scale models or historicals. I just don't want to wind up in trains. Peter the Falcon and I both are well aware of our fate in front of us.
Oh man!
And it's probably model trains.
Yeah, you do not want to be a train guy.
I want to be a train guy.
Yeah, no, I agree. Having worked in
the
hobby industry, no.
$1,500. It's a 3-day course. So sorry, you can also play in the GT. But you'll learn the fundamentals of painting true metallic metals, heat stress, glow effects on armor surfaces, freehand and detailing work with both traditional brush as well as an airbrush. An airbrush will be provided for you, or you can bring your own. So there's a lot going into it. It does say your standard Titan is $775, so it is about $700 more. Though it being Spikey Bits, I'm surprised I didn't tell you the Chinese cost of a Warhound Titan.
Quick Zanshui price check.
Please don't show up with your China cast Titan and be like, can I have a $700 discount from this class?
Hey! Somebody smell gasoline in here? Is this from China? Ooh.
Moving on to this headline now, which is our last of the day. Games Workshop puts their paywall in reverse.
What?
Guys, what does this sentence mean?
I was trying to figure this out. This is actually what prompted me to start reading the investor report to try and maybe understand what this might have meant. Still working on it.
Are they paying people to like look at their stuff?
Yeah, you get paid to watch Warhammer Plus?
Yeah.
I could see that.
I wish.
That feels about right.
So what this actually means, and I think they might have misused a couple of terms, is they're talking about the fact that they let people know that the Leviathan weapon arms would be available separately later.
What? How's that a paywall in reverse?
because the paywall of having to buy an entire another Leviathan Titan.
Leviathan Dreadnought.
No, Dreadnought. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm still stuck in the Warhound Titan thing.
Hmm.
But yes, I think this has got to be one of the most misleading headlines I
What?
think I've ever read.
God, what are they doing over there?
Getting me to click. Yeah, this is what they're doing. Yeah, let's move on. Let's investigate the
yours.
article a little bit here. And Val, I'm really happy you're here to help us out with this,
Working
because
on it.
they say that in an age of shrinking profits and customer base, we have been ringing the warning bell for months. Any way you look at it, Games Workshop's current way of doing business is not only outdated, but it's also barely profitable at this point. When other companies like Wizards of the Coast are crushing with record profits by offering customers not only products that they want, but also products with value, GW really should take note. As an aside, Wizards of the Coast, fix your foil. Your recent runs have been really bad. I'm sorry you have record profits, but the foil in the Wizard cards are just terrible. Val, with your expert finance mind, you wrote it on the whiteboard, so it's true.
I have a whiteboard, so clearly I'm a beautiful mind. Yes.
Clearly.
Only I really want you to have like a room divider piece of glass you just write on with markers now. But are we in an age of shrinking profits customer base with warning bells ringing for Games Workshop?
I mean, as I mentioned, the report is 91 pages, which is actually super fascinating in its own right, because I might be wrong, but I feel like this is by far the biggest annual report they've ever done, which suggests to me that they're actually paying a lot more attention to governance, which is spooky and scary, and I don't know how that's possible. But nonetheless, no, absolutely not. Games Workshop is not tanking. Their stock actually rallied quite nicely on after this report. It wasn't doing so hot in recent months, much like a lot of the market. What has gone down? The only number that I can see that is a headline number that is lower than 2021 would be core operating profit. That probably just has to do with increases to the cost of doing business, sunk costs into investments back into the business, things like that. Sorry, I took that dumb question seriously and tried to answer.
No,
it.
I love it because
I was expecting them to have. I was expecting them to have a backslide, not to have grown revenue at all, like over the last year, considering how many things messed up for them, and it didn't feel that exciting. I guess maybe I shouldn't have used my own personal feelings as a proxy for what other people think. But even if you look at their trade accounts, so that's like third parties that they sell to sell their games, that increased by 600 or 700 accounts. So it was a significant percentage increase in the total amount of people carrying their products that aren't Games Workshop stores. So like there's almost all they've been increasing their employee amounts. I mean, we joked about the design studio, same is true as the manufacturing. They're increasing their manufacturing capacity every year. So there's nothing here that says to me that the company seems alarmingly unhealthy. Biggest thing to me too is that their licensing revenue continues to increase every single year. And throughout this document, the meme of Games Workshop, like when I first started paying attention to the company in like 2015, was that they were a miniatures company. They refer to themselves frequently now as an IP company, which again is terrifying that they would do that, because that is absolutely correct. They seem to understand. There's some warning signs here that they might understand their core value. They talk about how they've basically split the company from a corporate governance perspective into two halves. One would be their traditional core business, and the other one is licensing. So I suspect that means that their vision would be that half of the business is going to be licensed products, selling the IP. At least that's what that would say to me. And just core revenue, so that it excludes licensing, is £386 million. So
which is more dollars.
Yeah.
And just because I think we treated the audio-only listener a little too well the last couple minutes with Val's description, I did find this picture illustrating how terribly the company is doing. which is this graph here showing that profits continue to, I believe the blue bar increasing means that they're in trouble. Val, I think this is percentage of trouble the company is facing.
Well, that's
I
how
mean-
high the water is, John. They're going to drown.
I mean,
It's Warhammer World toilet water levels.
also, that doesn't even include this year's bar. So this year's bar is actually higher than that still. Interesting. But yeah, that's 2021 revenue. 2022 revenue goes to 386. So significant, like £100 million increase in revenue over 2020, which is wild. That's how Games Workshop was hilariously the #1 performing stock in the UK, actually, and at times in Europe for years, was because they weren't like growing revenue by a couple percentage points. They were like doubling every single year for a little stretch there from like, well, you can start to see it happening starting around 2016. I guess doubling is harsh, but very high multiple. So Games Workshop sure seems like a healthy company. I don't know that I haven't read this in extreme depth at all. I've only been able to really catch the headline stuff. So I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. No, Matthew. Maybe he can come at us with his analysis, but it sure doesn't look. It looks like a company. Looks like a company that actually sort of gets itself more than I've ever seen it in writing before. So I'm actually kind of taken aback by this.
Terrifying. Danny, we've been very serious for the last couple of minutes. Did you want to round us out with some trademark Grim After
Boobies?
Dark humor?
No, not really, John. I don't really want to now. I've
Perfect.
been set into this somber mode. I don't know.
Like
Val,
I started
that was
rattling
The
off the
somber
monotone.
mode of the company that we love that creates the game that we play is doing really well.
John, when we start talking super technical, like it tampers down my excitement.
I just want to say this, guys, that if Games Workshop ever got good at being Games Workshop, basically none of the things we like would ever exist.
Right.
Full stop.
This show, they would find way better people.
Like I find it hard to believe that a game as ridiculous and Byzantine as fucking Warhammer is could possibly exist if it was run by responsible business people. So it's the magic of Games Workshop, I think, is a lot of the bugs that are in fact features. Especially if you play Tyranids, am I right?
Hey, Val rounded us out with the joke.
Thanks,
Hey, the
Val.
Heffelfingers are back on, which means Serious Val has gone away for the week. And we're about to as well.
Shit.
Thank you. Thank you guys so much for joining us for just another great episode of Grim. Guys, we actually have a guest book next week. It's
What?
the guy I think is Val. It's Nick.
Oh, Nick.
Producer Nick. It's going to be on next
Nick's
week.
awesome. He'll be a
It's
lot
going to
of
be
fun.
a great show.
Well,
guys.
Nick will be able to actually talk also about IP stuff. I think in really cool, interesting ways.
So yeah, next week is just purely going to be the legality of IP growth in the modern age, and I will just not contribute. It's going to be fantastic. It's what everyone always wanted.
Contribute, however you want to say it.
Yeah, whoever you say.
Contribute.
I don't know.
I said how I wanted to say it.
Mhm.
Guys, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Val, for continually explaining the pictures. I can't talk now ever since someone corrected me. We will be back next Monday. And as always, it's pretty grim after dark.
Held the tagline.